Welcome back, everyone. I'm Yakai, and it's been a long time that since my last update on the YouTube channel. And taking this new season as a great start, I'm planning to do a comeback on YouTube and probably update more videos in the future. So hopping to today's video, I'm going to feature one of the strongest core I think for this season, Empoleon+Altaria. I think they covers pretty well for each other in general. And for the pivot position, I consider use Grand Corsola to use of a pivot because of its strong neutral matchup in this season. So without further ado, let's look up to the battles. So in the first match is Empoleon into Altaria. Slightly comfortable lead for Empoleon in general. Opponents now bring in Shadow Okendo Melrac and we will respond it with our Tara in the back. So because of the Dragon Breath rework this season, although we are having more generation energy generation with Dragon Breath, but we are also doing less damage at the same time. So this makes that our Dragon Breath plus Scat attack damage is actually not enough to KO this Malractus yet, so that they can very safely no shield and make to their second rock slide to take out of a huge chunk of health of out of Taria. We'll shoot once and tank once and then go for the farm down here. Now I don't want to waste my energy onto Altaria. So I save both all my energy on Altaria and then pivot out into my Galarian Corsola. And opponent stands in their last mon, Shadow Empoleon, and after seeing our Corsola, they very quickly swap back into their Altaria. Now, because here for the damage decrease of Dragon Breath this season, this also makes that the Dragon Breath damage doing one less damage on Square Consola. So this makes that even despite tanking those Dragon Breath damage and two Sky attacks, we are still able to make it to do the second Power Gem. But I want to save this for the Empoleon in the back. So I pivot back into my Empoleon here. Opponent don't want their Altaria to get farmed down and swiftly swap back into their Empoleon as well. Now, with how much energy it was stored on our Corsola and Altaria, we should be in a pretty fine position in this game. So for Empoleon here, we just need to spam our Hydro Cannon. And after landing a Hydro Cannon, this should put their Empoleon into range of our, our Flamethrower on Altaria or the Nightshade from on Corsola to KO this Empoleon. So that's why I will spend my last shield here just for this Hydro Cannon damage to land. And after that, we could just send out Altaria, go for a Sky attack here. This is all we need to knock out their Empoleon in this Howling. This would put them pretty low in 1 to 2 Dragon Breath range. And opponents try to farm down our Altaria with theirs, but we just have a little bit more health on our Altaria, and we successfully to farm down their Altaria and came out with a Sky attack. And this will knock out their Empoleon. We managed to do a sneaky free ball flex in the start of season. GG's. So in the next match, Empoleon against and again Altaria. So because we are resisting the Dragon Breath damage, this is slightly comfortably for Empoleon. Opponent coming first here because we don't have an obvious answer for first. We'll chip down with Hydro Cannon first and then come in with our Altaria. After chipping down first, we should be pretty fine because of how bulky Altaria is. We can very safely tank one sleep and then we can tank another And then we just need to farm up energy and then throw just before they get to their first wave. And we should be pretty fine on preserving switch advantage here. Yep, go for a sky attack here. And then they come in their Altaria to try to get more farm from our Altaria. We'll go for the sky attack here. And then I don't want my Altaria to get complete farm down to give them many free energy, so I pivot back into my Empoleon here. Unfortunately, they having a real answer in the back for Empoleon, which names Gatrodon. Despite it being a bad matchup, Empoleon could still do pretty decent damage with Hydro here. So we successfully grab a shield. Unfortunately, we're just shy to make our second Hydro. Despite our Altaria is so low here, they still can't slap us down, so we could bring in our Tora to force them to fire off a body slam, and then we can come in with our Corsola, and with having a 2-to-1 shield advantage, our Corsola should be in a pretty clean position to try to sweep this game. There's not much reason for them to base because body slam is being double resisted. So I would just spend my 2 shield here on a 99% water pulse here. And then we just need to farm up 100 energy here and go for 1 Nightshade to KO the Gastrodon. And then with how much health we have remaining on Corsola, we should be able to make it to double power gem. To take out the last shield from them, and the second power gem should be able to knock out this Altaria. Yeah, with how much health we have, we're able to get to the power gem here, and then this will knock out the Altaria, and that's the GG's. So hopping in the next game, Empoleon into Togekiss, a very good lead in general because of still in the Fairy. Opponents say swap into Shadow Analytic, and here I swap a little slow, so this makes that we can't astonish down under Analytic after eating one Race Face. We'll have to throw our Nightshade before they get to their next Race Face if we don't want to give up a shield here. So we'll just fire off our Nightshade here before they make to their second Race Face, and then knock out an outlet here. And opponents now trying to farm up energy with their Togekiss. I don't want this to happen because Togekiss is very deadly with energy advantage, so I put it back into my Empoleon. Now I CMP here when they make to the back-to-back or sphere here, so that I can fire off Hydro. They need to spend their last shield if they want to fire off their second Aura Sphere, which just what they do. We could just very safely Mirror Shield here, and then as long as we fire off our Hydro, immediately once we got it, we should be able to outpace them. They are just one away from their third Aura Sphere, and we are able to knock out this Togekiss from field, unless it was in the back. It's Shadow Pretty. We could just very safely farm up 7 Metal Sound and CMP with the Hydro Cannon here. And this should put the Credit into a farm down range for either our Galarian Corsola and Altaria. So yeah, this Grass Knot will knock out our Empoleon right here, but we can just come in with our Corsola. Altaria is not even needed in this match, and we are able to farm down the Shadow Credit and take this game. GG's. So hopping into the next one, is Empoleon into overnight. So this is a slightly negative matchup, but despite our our frost metals and doing resist damage, Hydro Cannon will actually still do some very decent damage. So opponents shield up the first one to just preserve the health. Now because payback will still not KO here, I can very safely no shield here and still make to another Hydro. And we somehow being lucky to call that opponent going for some risky base of air cutters. So this obviously with this very small damage into our Empoleon, we are able to get to another Hydro chip down this current into the yellow. And from now we can just no shield this, let our Empoleon go down. And then we can come in with our Altaria to get an energy head start for whatever in the back. Now I will just spend my first shield here to shield of payback for preserving the health. And then for the rest, I will probably just not throwing a charge move. Fully Drain Breath this, Cover Knight down, and Altaria with 100 energy should be looking pretty good in back. This is only an cutter which do like take goes to Altaria. They come in with Togekiss here. Although it seems like a pretty dominant matchup of Togekiss versus Altaria with Fairy versus Dragon, but because Togekiss is not running Charm like it did in all season, Flying type pack actually don't do quite much damage as Charm into Altaria. So with how much energy we have on our Altaria, we should be able to knock out this Togekiss after shielding this charge move. And then we can throw our first Sky attack before they get to their next Psyshock or Sphere and knock out this Togekiss. And they are having Gastro in the back, and this game should be over. We can go for a Sky attack here. Oops, accidentally ECMP with them, but we should be able to survive a Body Slam still with our turret just fine. And then go for a Sky attack here. And then after this Sky attack damage, we could come in with our Galarian Corsola. And we can fire off our Nightshade. And this should be enough to KO this low health Gastron to secure this game. Gastron try to go with the Water Pulse here, but this is no shot on one-shotting our Galarian Corsola, and we can fire off our Nightshade to knock out this Gastron. And that's a GG's. And next one being Empoleon in the Shadow Fortress. This is a real core breaker for our Empoleon plus Altaria core, with Full Switch doing super effective damage to Empoleon, and Rock Tomb doing super effective damage into our Altaria. We throwing one Metal Sound and then go with our Grand Corsola. Opponents throw a Santum and then come in with their Azumarill. I farm up to two Nightshades and then go for the first. And then after that, I will shoot this player off, and then taking the advantage of the 45 seconds switch clock this season, I can already swap back to our Empoleon, and then I'll try to farm up here. Make sure that I have a ton of energy to prepare for the fortress to come back in and fire off multiple hydro cannons to grab their shield and chip down their fortress health. Opponents try to wait a turn to catch a drill pack here, but we see that coming. We fire off our hydro here. This will grab their first shield, and then we can throw one metal sound and then go for another for good timing. And then this will grab the last shield here, and then we can just safely let our Empoleon go down. Oh, our Empoleon actually still survive on pretty low health here just because Centum is not known for its damage. And we could transfer this Volsis damage to our Corsola and maybe our Empoleon could still make to a move because we are just one away from our next Hydro, and then we can come in with our Corsola, 2 Nightshades to KO this Shadow Fortress. And let's see what would it bring in the back. Okay, it's Shadow Dragon Knight. I actually didn't notice that I'm on the 4 cycle to Nightshade. I was tapping on the Power Gem, so it's not like the damage registration error causing that I didn't fire up my move. But because Dragon Claw being so too expensive here, Dragon Knight this season should all run 100 punch plus shield power. So we should be able to survive one move here just fine. We can shield to the second one here. And then once we see the Azu coming back in, we can swap back to our Empoleon. We've just barely get to our drill pack to knock out this Azu on no health. And then after that, our Altaria should be either able to farm down or just like here, get to the Sky Attack on low health and knock out this Dragonite to secure us this game. Despite I a huge call breaker on the lead, we are able to take out this game. GG's. Okay, next one. Empoleon into Shadow Caesar. This is a pretty good lead because like the bullet punch on Shadow Caesar is double resisted. And our Hydra will do so much damage. Opponent farm up 5 to try to catch our Hydro Cannon on Azu. We see that coming, and then we farm up 6 Metal Sound to and then come in with our Galarian Corsair to absorb the energies on Azu here. With how bulky Galarian Corsair is here, we should be able to tend to play rough. And then with the Astonish chip damage plus 2 Nightshades, we should be able to knock out this Azu to Precise Swap here. We can first safely, no shielders, play rough still here. And after that, we can farm up of NCMP with the Azu when they get to their next move. And go for this Nightshade. This Nightshade should be enough to take out this Azu here. And let's see what's in the back. Or they want to come in with their Caesar. Okay, their last mon is Galarian Moltres. We can just come in with our Altaria here. And they saw that the Moltres not having dominant matchup in the back, so there's no way they're beating an Empoleon with so much energy in the back. So they just top left the game. GG's. So hopping to, I think, is maybe the last battle of today. Empoleon into Whimsicott. Pretty dominantly for Empoleon, but a really tricky safe swap here. We don't quite have an obvious answer for Empoleon in back, so we will throw the Hydro to chip down first. And then after that, I think we will tank a Hydro from Dam and then come in with our Whimsicott. And then I mean Galarian Corsola. Opponent being very smart here, expecting us not having a hard answer for Empoleon back, so farm up to nearly back to back, then go for the Hydro here. We'll fire off our second Hydro, and after grabbing the shield, we'll just come in with our Corsola. We could tank one Hydro here just fine, and then we can hopefully go for an Astonish farm down here. Opponent farm up to Hydro and store it for later, and come in with their Whimsicott here. We should be pretty fine still in this game, as we are still staying outside range of seed bomb. So for they to knock out this Galarian Corsola, they need a full-on Moonblast here. A shield up here just in case they go for the Moonblast here, and then our CMP to the second Steep Bomb here. This is not knocking out our Corsola, and we could barely survive that, and then go for our Nightshade here to knock out this Whimsicott, if they are not planning to use their last shield. Nightshade KO their Whimsicott, and they'll come in Empoleon here to farm down our Corsola. And I'll come in Altaria here to very safely absorb their energy. They're probably blind hydro cannoning, exactly. And then they having a Bastidon in the back. This Now this game become tricky. Although it seems like that our Empoleon on is triple strong, but because we being too chipped down by their Empoleon on in the second matchup, we actually don't have enough power to make it to triple hydro cannons here. They can just very safely steal the second hydro cannon and go for the farm down here. And although Atari is strong in neutral matchup, I'm not sure that if we have enough resources to overcome this wall phase here. We can shoot the first Dongature, but they are only 2 away from their second. We should still survive this, but I don't know if Flamethrower will kill from this range. So, and then we of course will lose this if we are lagging. So yeah, unfortunately getting in turnover by the Bastidon in back. GG's by the opponent. Very well played. So hopping to the next match, we are facing off Empoleon Mirrors. We'll farm up in case opponents want to swap out after eating one Hydro. And then we'll fire off our first Hydro. Hydro Cannon, despite resisted, doing still nearly a half to Empoleon. And then our shield is just in case they want to snipe after landing the second Hydro. And then I'll farm up here, farm up one, and then go for Hydro. And at this point, they are 3 away from their next Hydro. We'll come in with our Galarian Corsola here, and we are able to snipe down them with 2 Astonish. And after that, they come in with their Trainer. So because of the decrease in damage of Dragon Breath, Trainier's Dragon Breath also doing 1 less damage to Galarian Corsola here. This make that, despite Trainer having really high hack, we can still tank 2 Aqua Tails plus those Dragon Breath damage here, and very safely make it to double Nightshade here. This Nightshade will either grab their last shield or just knock out this Draenei from the battlefield. Okay, this Nightshade just knock out this Draenei, and all that's left is a Gastrodon in back. And with how dominant it is with our Autori in the back versus Gastro, we should be in a pretty clean spot in this game. One Sky Attack is all we need, and afterwards we can just Drain Breath down this schedule. Opponent noticed that and top left the game. GG's. Okay, I think it's really the last match now. So we're hopping to another mirror of Empoleon. So again, in case they want to swap out after eating one Hydro, We'll farm up to nearly double hydro and then go with our first hydro. And let's see if this opponent played any different compared to the last one. And we are going to shoot the second one to just preserve the health. And the opponent's trying to come in with a little Ento Omerak to snipe. We are able to react fast enough and then come in with our Altaria now. And as I said, because the decrease of damage in Dragon Breath, making that this guy attack actually not enough to knock out this Alolan. No, I mean the Candle Marowak. So they will make it to second rock side here with no shielding this guy attacks do. And I don't want to go down to shield too early when opponent's still having twos. So I'll just let our Altaria go down and come in with Corsola here to farm up and some energy. And let's see what they having in the back. Okay, opponent come in now with Togekiss here. Here I think I was waiting to see if they are going to go for a catch or not, but I wait too long, so this end up being a CMP here. But we can tank multiple side shock just fine with how much bulk our Corsola has. And this Power Gem will grab their first shield here. And we should be able to survive another side shock here to get to our second Power Gem. And I think there is pretty high chances that they will swap to Empoleon and try to catch a Power Gem here, so I swap to my Empoleon as well. I'll prevent for that. And seems like it really is the case here. So we successfully saved our Power Gem of our Corso in the back for the Togekiss. We can just very safely go for a shield here on the Hydro and go for ours to take out this Empoleon. This Hydro will actually not knock out the Empoleon. And I was afraid that they will survive another Metal Sound and make it to Hydro, and that game will become tricky. So despite farming down, I'll go for another Hydro here. And I'll still barely healthy enough to make it to Hydro here. And although their Togekiss is having higher attack stat, being too far off this side shot to knock out our Empoleon, we're still having our Power Gem to in the back with our Corsa to knock out this Togekiss here. Pretty close one. GG's to the opponents. Yeah, and I think that's all for today's battle. I think this is a pretty strong on-meta team in general. So if you didn't find a good team in for a new season to start, I think this one is a pretty good one to go into. And if you have any new interesting mon that you want to see how it performs in the season, welcome to share it in on the comment section. I may consider to give it a try in the next video. So yeah, thanks everyone for supporting this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Give me a cat, please.